All right. Good morning once again. You are welcome. All
Morning,
right.
sir.
We'll just quickly dive into this morning section. Um, just a way of recapping. In our last class, I think our discussion was on SQL query statements, how we can apply them as data analysts to explore insights from a given data set. And so far, so good. We have run some SQL filtering commands. So the entire training on SQL, sorry, the entire training on SQL is actually divided into two. The first part is you understanding how to write data filtering query statements. That is, this query statement focuses more on data selection. So you are not performing any form of aggregation. That is the first part. And then once we are done with this section, and then we'll now look at the last section, which is where we will start performing calculation, like summing value, calculating the maximum, the minimum, and the rest of that. So we do not have visualization on SQL, except you are using the PHP, MySQL, the one directly in a website. So what I will do is that probably in the last class, I will just take us to a live website database and see how we can run this same code we are running here, because that version has a feature that helps us to present some of our findings in a graphical form. But this very one uh is not meant for that aspect. So it's actually meant for data selection and data aggregation. All right, so we are taking the data filtering techniques to a little bit advanced than the one we wrote or the one we have written so far. So if I may just go through some of the things we have done, I think these are the only, I don't know if I'm correct, if this is the database we actually, or these are the query statements we have written and confirmed. Okay. Basically, I know that we have learned how to select all record from a database table, right? We have
Yes, we have.
then, okay, so let me just see how I can pick it up from there. So, but before that, I need to use a database. Because currently the database that is highlighted, which is customer, is not the database where we have imported our data sets. So I need to use a different database. I think the database we created, do you still remember the database we created? Where we,
Let me open my listing. I know the name I used.
okay, for mine, let me check what I have under Eguero. I think Eguero should be the last data type that we created. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is to quickly use Equero. So I've told us that for you to highlight or to specify the database where you want to analyze the record or the data in each table, you need to use that table using the use using the use keyword followed by the name of that database, so Eguero. And then once I run it, that automatically will allow us to use that very database. Control and enter to execute your code. So we got an error here which says that what selected total whatever. It's possible that there is a code. Select says this from, so we did not complete this. So let me convert it to comment. Let me convert it to comment. Okay, so let me run it again. So let me create a new tab for us to be sure. So I told us that you can go to File and select a new query tab. And then let's use it properly here. So before that, let's specify what we are doing with comment. So SQL query statements construction for data selection. So let's use database, use Eguero. All right, so I'm able to use Eguero. Now, I want to find out how many tables are in Eguero. Let's even know whether we have any imported data in Eguero. So I will write another SQL query statement to achieve that, which is show. Now that you are already in Eguero, show tables. Show tables. So let's see how many tables do we actually have there. So we don't have any tables. So which means that this is not where
I think it was on sales.
says
Sales underscore data.
good. So let's use that says underscore data. Okay, says underscore data. Know why this is not let me see. No, waste my time. So let me confirm if it says underscore. Okay, I think I was making mistake. There was no X.
Yes.
This underscore data. So let's also find out the tables we have there. Show tables under the selected database. Okay, so we have two different tables there. We have Amazon. Now let's write an SQL statement to view the record under Amazon to know whether we have to proceed with that table record analysis. So using comments, write an SQL query statements to display all records in Amazon table. In Amazon table. So the syntax will be select, like we have already covered before now. Select is a keyword. Select Select is a keyword. Now, because we want to select all the records in that table, so we use asterisk, and I told us that asterisk means all. Asterisk means all. So select all, then we need to define the location from the table. So the table is Amazon. Amazon, that is the name of the table. Now we have to end our query statement with semicolon before we run it. So let's see. So these are the records we have. So you can see that we have the following headers: region, country, item type, sales channel, order of priority, order date, order ID, ship date, unit sold. Now, as a data analyst, you are expected to understand your data. We are expected to know the data. So once you have called out your record in a table like this, the next step is for you to understand the type of data under each of the columns. For example, what I have under region, they are categorical values. They are categorical values which are repeated. What I have under country also are categorical values, also what? Repeated. What I have under item type, categorical value, also repeated. What I have under sales channel, categorical value, also repeated. So the only place where we have a unique value is order ID. So what you have here, they are completely what? Unique value. So you need to understand your given data set. So we have total profit, we have this. Okay, so now let's assume that we are asked to select or to filter, because like I said, this aspect of SQL query statement we are constructing falls under filtering. Filtering, that is what? Query statement that are used to filter data. And what is data filtering? It simply means to select a portion of your data set. That is filtering. So for example, now let's assume that we are asked to filter. Let me use comment to be explaining what I'm doing. So the function, the task here is that filter or display or even select. So these are terms somebody can use. Select countries. Select country from the Amazon data frame. So it is a task. For example, as a data analyst, there could be a reason. The reason could be that the company wants to just view only that word column value, like country. So they want you to select, in other words, to filter in the whole of this data frame. They want to see only the values under country. So how do you write an SQL query statement to be able to bring out only that portion of your data? So the syntax will be select, but this time around, remember that you are not bringing all. So this falls under filtering by specific values. Filtering by specific, or let's say selecting single column value. Okay, so since we are not involving all, so I'm not going to put asterisk as I did the other time, because here we are not focusing on what? All. So I will say select. Then what I will do is to mention the name of that column that I want to filter or I want to select its value. So which is country. The way it is computed in your data set. So I believe it's capital letter country. All right. Then after this country is a subset of Amazon. So which means that you have to reference where is it coming from, then followed by what? Your from keyword. From select country from the name of your data set, which is the Amazon. Then of course you end your, so if you run this, you see that what? You have only filter out what? Country value. I hope you are following, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one basic selection techniques we must understand. Now, let's quickly look at if I am asked to select country and total profit. Maybe your analysis involve only country and total profit. So there's no point of you displaying the whole data. So how do you bring them? Probably to you want to focus on just these two headers. So that takes us to uh how to select or filter multiple. So the first one is single column value, multiple columns values. So how do we go about this? Okay, so I've already cited one of the reasons why you may want to perform this kind of selection. So the syntax will be select, then you mention those two headers and separate them with comma. So let me start. You mention them according to the order you want the selection to output the value. So let's say I'm starting with country. Because country, I have categorical data and also string value. Then I'm joining it with another header with numerical or with what? Integer or number data type. Then I will separate this with a comma. And then the other one, the way it is in the data set. So if I just want to know it, since I have written that code here before to view the entire table, so I will just come back to that particular line and use this just for me to be able to capture the header the way it is. So you can see that the T is capital letter and the P, and they are separated with underscore. So I'll follow that same total underscore profit. Okay, now you need to also define the location. Where are these two headers located within a table? So you have to mention the name of the table, but you have to bring in the from word keyword and then followed by the table name, name. And then, of course, you must always end your statement with the semicolon, the execute. So you can see that with this, I have been able to pull out only what? These two features from the entire Amazon data. I hope that is clear, sir.
Very clear, sir.
Okay, so I want to give you 2 minutes, except if you have done it, and then share your screen and perform the same thing before I proceed. Or have you done it as I was doing it?
I did the single one, but I can do the other one too. I can share my screen if you want me to.
Okay, quickly, let me see. So you have to be talking so that we can follow you up.
Okay, on this part now, I want to select multiple columns
Okay.
using the select and from function in the SQL query dashboard. So I want to select country and total profit. So From here, I can go back and run this query to see how the headers are set up. Like this particular one. Sorry, this full one. I'll run the query. So I'll see that country is in capital letters, so I'll write country the way it is. Country separated by comma. Then the next column I want to bring up is total underscore cost. I can go there and copy it, or I'll write it the way it is. So it is total underscore cost. Underscore costs. Then from the table, which is the Amazon data set, then end it with a semicolon. Then I can run the query.
Perfect.
So with this, I'm able to generate the country and the total cost for each of those countries.
All right. Perfect. So you can share now. You are doing very well. All right. So let's take it further. Thank God you are getting the logic. Now let's look at another category of filtering. So I will use comment. And this one is filtering by specific values. Filtering by specific value. So this one is very important. So here we are bringing condition, because if you check the way we selected the country and the total profit value, we actually called everything under each of these columns. But this time around, we want to define a condition. So let's say we want to select these same two countries, but we want to select this same two column value, but we want to specify a criteria that says that only equals to maybe where a country is equals to Rwanda or maybe Angola. So, or let's say from the entire table, we want to display only record from a particular country. So that is what we mean by what? Filtering by specific value. So for example, let's write our analysis question from this data set that can be answered with this logic. So from the Amazon data, filter only let's say Angola records, only Angola records. That is a task. So the company wants to know, probably you want to give your statistical analysis. You want to compare one country to the other. So you can just call out just these two countries you want to focus on, and then be able to know which one is doing better. So the syntax for achieving this will be select is still coming here. Then, though we are not picking all, we are not filtering all value, but at some point we will interrupt the all, because when you put this asterisk, it means all. But for now, you are referring to everything. Then at some point, you bring in an SQL query keyword that will change this scenario, which is selecting all. So let's say select all from now, from the table name, which is Amazon. So you will not end it yet, because we are bringing it a conditional statement or function or command. So I can go to the next line, but I have not added the semicolon because I am still writing. I can also decide to write everything on the same line, but I just want a kind of my code to be more presentable and readable. That is why I moved to the next line where I want to introduce the conditional statement. So you bring in where. So where is equivalent to if, the way we have it in Python and the other if. So in SQL here, we use what? Where, when. All these are conditional what? Keyword.
Keywords.
Now, where, then you now mention the column that contain the criteria value for the selection, which is, look at our question. It says
Country.
Amazon good. So which means you have to know how the country is rating the header, which is what? The first letter is capital letter, where country is equals to. In other programming languages, we use double equals to represent what? Equality. But here it's just one. Equals to, because we are referring to this as a variable. That is what we are creating a storage and we are adding a value. Now, if the value is a string, that is text-based data type, then you have to put it in quotation, or you use the inverted quotation like this, which is still acceptable, or you use this one. Then you put exactly the country you want to select its record, the way it is in the data, which is what? Angola. I hope my spelling of Angola is correct. Okay. Then you have to end it. Now, this is where you have to end your semicolon because you just concluded writing the statement. So now if I run it now, you see that what? It brought out only one. So which means that in this data set, we have only one. Okay, now let's check other table. If we look at other table, let's say select, I think we have another table in that database, which was it sales? I think we have.
Yes, we have sales.
Let me see if we can have a value that we can select that will give us more than one value. So let me just select it. Select asterisk from, I think it says just says like this. I think let me just run it and see. Okay. Oh, I remember that this was the one that I couldn't get the value. Okay, so let me use another criteria to select. So let's say if I am to run this particular line again, just to see the entire data. Okay, let's say I am shifting it from country to sales channel. In other words, I want to see only record from let's say where the transaction method was offline. So let's say I'm changing so that I can select multiple value. Okay, so it means the question, let me add it to it as part 2 of it, or the second example. So from the data set, comma, select only offline entries. So the syntax.
Is it for the Angola or for all of them?
No. We are still using one criteria, which is I've changed it from country. Now I'm no longer focusing on country. It's just one criteria selection first before we go advance to 2 criteria. I just want us to master one criteria selection. So
Okay.
I've done for Angola. We got just one record. So
Okay.
valid. So we've answered that question. So but
Okay.
letting for another
That is from the entire data set. Select where transaction is offline.
offline. Yeah. So we want to see only offline record in that data set. So
That is the Amazon data set.
that same Amazon data set, yes. So let's say so the syntax will be select The syntax will be select from, select all from the Amazon dataset. Then I can space, I can write it in one line where sys channel, the way it is in the table, where sys underscore channel is equals to offline, the way it is in your data set. Then I can end it by adding semicolon. So you can see that I wrote everything on the same line, which I said is also acceptable. But for readability purpose, that is why we usually bring it down so that our code will look more organized. So if I run it now, so you can see that all the record we are seeing, they are offline records. They are record made through offline. Is that clear?
Very clear.
All right. So now let's see. So let me give you a class task. So what you are going to do for me now, select for offline, sorry, for online. Select for online. You can share your screen.
So I'm selecting from the Amazon data set where transaction is online. Right? You are with me, sir?
I'm with you. I'm with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So the query will be select all from the Amazon, sorry, no D, from Amazon, where sales channels, sales underscore channel is equals to online. And I can run it.
All right.
No, from Amazon, where sales, oh, sorry. This is where I misspelled sales.
Okay.
So that's it.
All right. All right.
Mm.
Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so I believe that method of selection is clear. So let's look at another selection. Let's look at another selection. Next one is filtering. Filtering by date range. Filtering by date range. So this one will also introduce different SQL keyword. That is, we're talking about range. So where we still be used, but we are bringing in between. So let's assume that our analysis task is select, let's look at some date here under ship date. Select select, we have order date, have it? But it's like my order date does not have underscore. Does not have underscore. Does it all have underscore?
Order date. Yes, it does.
You have order date, have it?
Yes.
Okay, so if
We
it's
can use ship date too now. What
uh,
about two of them have underscore anyway?
okay, yes, let me use this one. Thank God I have this one. So let's say select a ship date between select ship date between, let's pick one of the day, between 6/2/2012, 2012 and 11/30, that's in 2012. That's in 2012. So let's say we want to display record between this time frame. So how do we write the center? So the center goes this way: select, select, select from, select from, then your table name, which is Amazon, Amazon, Amazon. So let me go to the next line. Then where the first range, where the header, which is what? The ship date, where the ship date, ship underscore is the ship, capital letter. Okay, yes. Ship underscore dates, underscore dates, where ship underscore dates, between is another keyword which we are bringing in here. Between, that is, we are using two criteria. Between, so let me use inverted this. Between, you capture the dates, which is the way it is here. It's not in a standard database format, because in a standard database format, we are supposed to have year first, followed by what? Month and day. So we could just follow that standard. So here I'll say 2012 first, and then put this as a standard format. Then that should be months will be 6. Then day will be 2. Then also complete it here. So this is the first date. Now you are going to bring in another SQL keyword, which is called AND, for multiple conditions. So the first condition, I can stop where it is now if I just want to see record capture for that date. But since we are working with range, so we have to bring in and define the next date, which is 11th, which is use the same inverted quotation, and then 2012, also 2012, then 2012 11, then 11th 30, and then also enclose it with the quotation. Now, after this, as you can see, after this, you can now add, to make my code more readable, I can move the whole of this down. I can move the whole of this down. just to make my code readable. Then you can now add your semicolon. So if you run it now, let's see if we get a result. We got an error. So what is the error? The error could be the date format because the standard date entry from the data here is not really followed. But I will see how we will go and change it to the format in the data and see if SQL will be able to. But let's find out what is the error. Say that what select this encode unknown word so you can see it. So this particular format is what is complaining. So let's follow it the way it is in the data and see, because this our own format does not correspond with the one they use in entering the data. So let me just display this again and then follow their format. So, but what you will have done is, if it is data set that is within a cell capacity, then all you need to do is to go back there, go to your system date, then change it to year, that same format before you load it. But let me still try an option here. So if I'm to follow that format, what we captured the other time was, let me see, editing this, I'll be able to. So which means that we are having 6 first. 6, we're having 6. 6, what was the other one? 2, right? 2, 2000.
Six is the month.
Mhm. And then this one we changed to, see, this one we changed to 11,
11,
11,
30,
30, then,
2012.
okay, so let's see. So try it from your end there as well. Let's see if it's going to, I know we're having issue with the date formats, it's data.
And and November 30, 2012. I can run it. It's the same.
What we do, don't try and maybe later we'll revisit it in the next class, but just go and get the data format to the database global format. That is what year first, month, and day. Then you load it.
It ran. Oh.
Okay, okay.
It ran. It gave out a result.
So I think that means my own is okay, okay, okay. You added the okay 06, have you? Okay, well, it's the same format.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, so I will start my notebook, sorry, my framework later and try it again since that worked for you. So let's just continue. So just take note of the syntax. Just take note of this.
Okay.
Okay, just I'll share your screen. All right. So what type of bracket did you use? Let me see if sorry, the quotation. Is it this one you use?
The column.
Let me try. Let me try this quotation icon. So we followed it. This is your structure. I mean, this is how you wrote it now.
06.
Okay, 06,
02.
02. Okay. Then here, okay, this one is
Yes.
let me correspond like this. Let me add the Okay, okay, so I think it has also responded here. Okay, so that is it. Now let's look at the next one. The next one is we want to order from a specific year because this one is date. Let me use comment to explain that also. Select for a specific year. Select for a specific year. So what is our analysis question? So our analysis question is um our analysis question is we want to display only record for a particular year, let's say 2020, that's 2012. So from the Amazon data, from the Amazon data, from the Amazon data, from the Amazon data, select records from only, let's say 2012. So the syntax will be select. The syntax will be select all from the table name, which is Amazon. Let me break it. Where exactly, so this is the function we are bringing. Where exactly, sorry, where extract, so it's a function. So inside it, you specify year, you specify year, and then from, specify year from, then the header with the dates you want to display its value, which is ship underscore date. So there you come outside this function, you put equals to, and then you type that particular year, let's say for 2012. Then you end your code. So now let's run it and see. So it return. I think there's error here. Error here. Hope you can hear me because it's raining here. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay. So the mistake is from here. So I have to remove this. It outputs no value. But I know we have that value there. We have record from this particular year. So you can try it from your end. Sometimes it may be my own work. So share your screen.
No, you are not. You are not quoting the year because it's an integer.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not putting the result.
It's not bringing any results, right?
Showing unknown column, ship underscore
But
date.
okay, we are close. Okay, let's check the. We are correct with the syntax. It's possible that this format will not go with the MySQL. But let's do the debug and see. Let's from where extract. I work with another operator. So let's say uh, select total profits. Total profits equals to, let's pick a particular value of total profits greater than a specific value. Specific value. So if you look at the values we have under total price, let's just pick one. So let me run this to display the entire record again. Look at the values we have here. Let's say greater than, this is greater than 200,000. Right? I don't know. This is 200, greater than 200,000. So let's say greater than 200,000. They are the only profits we want to see. So the syntax would be select all from the name of your data table, Amazon. So we are still bringing it where clause, where that header, which is total underscore profits, is greater than. So this is the operator we are bringing, is greater than. Let's put the value there. Greater than 200. So let me run it. Okay, so these are the only entry where total price are greater than what? 200. So you can try it also. Let's see. Now, if I want to make it, let's say greater than 200, and I want to also add another criteria. That is what, for a particular country or for where sales channel is equals to offline. That is bringing another criteria. So then you have to what? Continue with
Put
the code.
and.
Are you trying this one now?
No. Go ahead. I said you can include it with an and. Is it not?
Good. So you now bring this one where this one is. Then you now continue what? And then that particular criteria. Let's say we are sales channel, sales underscore channel underscore channel is equals to offline. equals to offline. Then before you end the code. So if you run it now, so you have now streamlined it to just that particular seed channel. And these are the total profits greater than the 200,000. I believe that is clear.
Yes.
Okay, so what I will give to you as an assignment is for you to go and get a different data set, and answer questions with this set of query statements we have covered in this section. So in our next class, which is on Thursday, I'll ask you to preview it. So try and do as much as possible analysis with this set of query keywords.
Okay, sir.
All right. So we still have a few of them on that selection, which I'll quickly round up with in the next session, and then we'll go into the last part, which is where we can start aggregating values. See you.
Okay.